Welcome back to the house. Today we have the legendary Kandi Burruss Tucker. What's going on, Kandi?
What's up? How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
They did not want me to interview you. I don't
Why?
know why. I don't know. They don't like
Who
me. They
is
don't want
they?
me to be the people, the fans.
What
They didn't want me to
people?
interview you.
Well, they didn't get a
They're like, "Oh,
choice.
you're always saying this about Kandi," and I'm like, "I'm just talking like because of what I see from the show."
Right. And I understand that because I say things, don't speak on it. Then, of course, my
Right.
cast members don't always like what I got to say. So
But I love
I
everybody.
understand.
RHOA is my favorite show. Like I've been watching the show for 14 seasons, and I
Ooh,
think I was like
okay.
12. I'm 26 now, so it's been a
hmm
journey. Okay, it's been a
It's
journey. But
definitely been a journey.
yes, thank you for coming on. Um,
hmm
uh, so you have been on the show. Wait, you've been on the show for 13 seasons, right?
13, yes.
13, which is basically 13 years. You're basically the matriarch of Housewives of Atlanta. Todd even went as far as to call you the queen. They hate on you because you're the queen of the show. Do you feel like the matriarch? Do you feel like the queen?
No.
Really?
I mean, I guess technically, I got to be considered the matriarch just because, like you said, I've been the longest running housewife. But anytime you get a person that's an OG from season one, they always be like, "We the OGs." So I always give them their respect because they were season one and I was not, and I came in season two. But I have been here the longest consistently.
Yes. I think
Yes.
you might be the longest if you stay around for maybe a season or two because we know New York. I think
Mhm.
Ramona and them are like the longest, but
Yes.
we know what
Well,
happened.
actually, I was told I think we are like the same amount of time.
Okay. But
I
Ramona just
think
got fired. Not fired, but they canceled the show. They rebooting the show.
again,
They're rebooting it again. They
didn't
want
they
to
do that
diverse.
already?
They did with Ebony.
Yeah, I think
Mm-hmm.
that's how we ended up because then they were like off for a season or something. So I think
They
that's
did
how
something.
she and I or something like that. I don't know what their
Mm.
timeline. So I think that's how we ended up. Like our 13 years is really
Right.
about the same because ours has been consistently coming every year.
But now they're doing a legacy and then a regular, a whole new cast, which means that you are there. If you stay around, you might be there. Are you staying around?
As of now, yeah.
Okay, as of now, yes. Okay, people have
Yeah.
been coming to me like, I feel like Candy should leave the show because we
They
know
say
that
that all the
you're,
time.
they do, but you are
Mhm.
on this journey to EGOT status. So
Praise the
my
Lord.
thing is, if you left the show, you would have more time to do the Broadway, to do the TV, to do the movies, write some soundtracks. You can be in there with Beyonce, get nominated for that Oscar.
Well, no, I personally feel like I make the most of my 24 hours. You know what I
You
mean?
do.
I'm doing a lot. And nobody's gonna stop me as far as going towards my dream. So things are done over time. I don't expect my dream of the EGOT to happen tomorrow, but
Mm.
it's gonna happen. Because I'm working towards it. And I think that Real Housewives has been, a great addition to everything else that I've been doing. So I mean, I'm not saying that I, have to be here forever because I mean the powers that be may, I don't know,
You don't
may
be
decide
over it
something
though.
different.
Sometimes I feel like you be over it. Like I be watching you in the
Oh, for
scenes,
sure.
like at the
Oh, for
sauna.
sure.
At the
For
sauna, you
sure.
were looking at Marla like, I really don't have to be here. Marla,
And
you
the
just
sauna, they did not. They only showed y'all this little bit of that argument. It was way more than that than what they
mm-hmm.
showed, and they had me. I was over it that day because that was the first time I realized that they had been saying stuff about me when I went around. I did not know. So when she started talking about, oh, we don't think you're a good friend and all this kind of stuff, I'm like, y'all ain't no good friends. Like, y'all don't call me outside of when we were with this group of girls. Like, y'all don't ask me to hang out. And then realistically, it really made me think of everything that they aren't doing. You know how you can be cool with somebody and not really realize that this
How bad of
relationship
a
is
friend.
one sided?
Yep.
Yeah, that it's one sided until they start saying stuff to you. And that's when I realized, like, honestly, and I pointed it out then, but they didn't play this. But I was like, all the stuff that they were saying about Sonya only trying to be friendly because of what we could possibly do.
Your 10
I
million
started
followers.
noticing, yeah, I started noticing that day, and I was like, wait a minute. But Marlo, I've been knowing her all this time, and she never has invited me to hang out with her and her friends outside of the show.
Mm.
Like she's hung out with me and my friends outside of the show. She done been to the club with us. She done kicked it with us, been to parties and different things that I invite her to, you know. But she's only invited me to business things.
Right.
She invited me to her. She had an emoji party. So when she had put them emojis out that time a couple of years ago, she invited me to that, and she invited me to some movie premiere she was hosting,
Mm.
and that's because they needed people to tweet. So I was just
Right.
like, realistically, you don't look out for me. You don't invite me
Right.
nowhere. You don't nothing.
I
Who are you to
definitely
tell me
feel
I'm not
like your relationship with Sheree Marlowe is not like they expect a lot of you, but they're not doing the same things. Yeah.
right? Sheree as well. Like Sheree been on here telling everybody, acting like I did her so dirty by not telling her what Drew and them had said. And then somebody pointed out to me, they was like, but girl, she didn't tell you when doggone Kim Zolciak had said that's the crazy stuff about you that year. I was
And they
like,
didn't
you're
tell you what
right.
Anthony said either.
Okay, never. Like it's like a lot of things that she's very good at being forgetful of her
Mm.
actions.
Eva, yeah. Okay, so I know you have been answering the same questions all day. Okay, you're on the press circuit. So thank you for stopping
Okay.
by. I do want to switch it up a little bit and play a game of this or that. So
Oh
I'm going to give
shit.
you two options and then you let me know which one you prefer. All right.
Okay.
It's
I
going to be
feel like
fun.
this is about to be shady, but go ahead.
All right. So Marlo's premiere late archive event. Okay. Or the finale event, She by Sheree fashion show.
Oh, She by Sheree fashion show.
She by Sheree. So what do you feel about the launch? The launch was a mess. Like it's no tea,
It
no
was a
shade.
disappointment. The fashion show was amazing. And we all was like, whooping and hollering about how great it was. That happened in March, I believe. We
Mm.
are now in September. Why is this website not working?
Mm-hmm.
I was disappointed.
Mm-hmm. You didn't get a PR
I do.
package?
At the reunion, she gave us a couple of items. I
Okay.
really was planning on wearing my T-shirt today, but I left it in Atlanta. I'm in New York, so I did not get to wear it. But
What did t-shirt look like?
I it was one of the ones I believe that she's selling online. So it just had her
Mm.
brand on it. But I was just like, I'm definitely going to be purchasing some of her She by Sheree, but I was disappointed that the things that we saw were in the fashion show were not on the site. Um, but I mean, it's like she still got to do her thing. But I just was like, I just wish she would have been ready. That's
Right.
all.
Okay, Masked Singer or Big Brother? Big Brother.
Mass Singer.
What? Because you're a singer, of course.
No, no, it was scary to perform for Mass Singer. That wasn't the reason why. It was because it was so hard being away from my family and then being away from the world. I was in their house for like 6 weeks with
Mm-hmm.
no phone, no internet. When they show us in there typing on those tablets, this us literally, we have to type the tablet and they take what we type and give it to our team to
Uh-huh.
post for us. So
Uh-huh.
we do not get to see anything that's happening in the outside world. And then you in there with people who ain't getting along, arguing every day, and every day you scared you about to get cut off. It took me a while to readjust to being back into society when I came out of that house. I'm not lying to you.
Yeah.
Cynthia said the same thing to me. She was like, "You just feel so thrown off when you come back
Uh,
home because it's like, hey, could you imagine being in a box for 6 weeks, like, and
and
don't
then
know what's
being
happening outside?"
recorded. And then people are watching you
Yes.
for 24 hours.
Do you know I never watched it? I never went back
See,
and watched it.
and that's the problem with the celebrity version. They need to train y'all a little bit. Cause your friend, your sis, Cynthia was like, she got far,
Oh
but
my god.
it's yeah. Anyway, are you still cool with
Yes.
Tamar?
Yeah, we still cool.
Okay, great.
Mhm.
Touring like with Escape or Dungeon Tour or performing on Broadway.
Ooh, that's tough. I will say Dungeon Tour is the most fun.
Okay.
The Dungeon Tour is lit, okay? And it's
Okay.
super fun. But Broadway, performing on Broadway was a dream come true.
Mm-hmm.
But it's tough because you got to perform 6 days a week, 8 shows a week. So it's like a
Mm.
lot of performances. So it's tough, but I still love it. I still would do it again.
Okay.
And doing that shows with Escape is lit because we doing the big arenas, there's so many fans,
Mm-hmm.
and it's all of that. But we always got drama within our group,
Oh,
so
we
that.
ready for the new show.
And honey, it's gonna be a show.
Mm. Speaking of Broadway, Kandi,
Wait,
you have to do August Wilson justice. We're counting on you. The piano lesson next week,
you
right?
will not be disappointed. You will not
Okay.
be disappointed. I think everybody's gonna be super excited and happy about it. It starts September 19th. The piano lesson starring Samuel L. Jackson, John David Washington, and Danielle Brooks, and it's some more wonderful actors in the show. And
Right.
Latanya Richardson Jackson, she's the director, and she's not playing with them. Okay, I've seen her in rehearsal, and when I tell you, she be getting them together. It's going to be
I
lit. I,
love
I
it.
went by today to see the set, and it looks amazing.
Okay. I'm excited. I love August Wilson. I'm a theater student and they like drilled
Oh
August
yay!
Wilson into our heads. That was like one of the first plays I ever read. So
Oh
I'm
really?
definitely gonna go see it.
Awesome. Thank
Um
you.
yes. Okay, who do you like better for charade? Tyrone or Martell Holt?
Oh, I would definitely have to say Martell. I don't know Martell. I don't know Tyrone either. Let me be clear. But I guess I would have to say Martell just because Tyrone is just not it.
Now, you spilled a little bit of tea and basically said that Martell was up there at the Blaze trying to get the pictures for the, blogs and whatnot. Is that not scary? Like, did you warn Sheree about that before you went onto the radio, Kandi?
Well, first of all, I wasn't trying to talk about it on the radio at all.
It just kind
I
of
was sitting
popped
up
up.
there with Shamia, and she just out of the blue asked me my opinion on the situation. And I'm not really one to just lie or fake some thoughts. Like, I couldn't help it. Like, I just answered honestly. And obviously, they weren't too happy about my answer. But from my understanding, what I've been told is he wasn't the one who came up with the idea for him and, you know, my friend's cousin to, do this, for the pictures. It was his team. His
The
team.
same
And
difference.
I'm just telling you, it wasn't him. He unknowingly was put in that situation.
And now
His
he's in the
team
park with your friend being caught by
with
TMZ.
paparazzi
Like Sheree
in a
being
random
caught
park.
in Sandy Springs. Like, what paparazzi is in Sandy
I
Springs?
was wondering the same thing, but I wasn't gonna say anything. That's
Listen,
you said it, not me.
we know the
I was
real truth.
like, this is giving the same energy because it's
Yeah.
like how we just gonna be at a random park and the paparazzi's there. Like, who are they following you guys around? Like, how did they know you would be there?
Quick phone call. I mean, basically, to me, it's the same person. She said Tyrone was calling the paparazzi. It's the same thing, a repeating pattern. Anyways, okay, so listen, we got to hurry this up. Another game. Can you defend
Okay.
it? I really need to know your
Okay.
opinions about this. Can you defend some of your actions and can you defend some of your castmates' actions? Okay.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. Number one, it's kind of a hard one. The vibrating panties in New York City. Kandi, can you still defend the vibrating panties?
Hell yeah.
Oh.
My daughter told me that I should not defend it. She's like, I mean, you were wrong. You should just let it go. But this is how I felt about it, right? So my thoughts were overall, okay, the girls argue on every trip and always
Mm-hmm.
be falling out. So
Mm-hmm.
my thoughts were I wanted to take the vibrating panties and use it like a game to say, okay, whoever
Icebreaker.
Sorry, yeah, you hit them with the little zap, and they ain't gonna be arguing. They're gonna have to laugh. It's gonna be funny. So I'm thinking it'll be a funny game. I honestly did not think about the fact that the wires could cross and different people's remotes would work on other people's, patties. I didn't think about that. But I was just like, if you didn't want to wear them, you didn't have to. The girls who didn't want to wear them, they didn't wear them. And the
Okay.
rest of us, we was just playing a game. It wasn't that deep. I think sometimes they take life too serious.
Okay. Can you
Mhm.
defend Andy Cohen and the Bravo producer and their reunion seating charts?
Nah, I cannot defend that seating chart because I was sitting up there myself as soon as I got out there and I saw the seating chart. I was like, who came
It
up
was
with
a little
this?
weird. It was
Why? Like, why would
right.
you put Drew and Tanya next to each other?
Thank
Like that,
you.
you're asking for it.
Thank you.
And I did ask them. Well, I didn't ask all of them. I asked one of the producers when we got to our lunch break. I was like, "Why did y'all put them next to each other?" And
Mm.
they were like, "Oh, well, we just feel like it'll be fine. They're not really going to do anything. It's not going to get that serious." And as soon as we went back out there, it almost popped off between the two of them
Right. Swinging the
in the worst
wig.
way.
Was it caught on
Yeah.
camera?
Yeah, it definitely got heated between
Uh
the two of
oh.
them.
Okay. Can you
They're
defend your
saying I got 5 more minutes
oh,
to lay down.
okay. Can
Okay.
you defend your bestie, Kenya Moore hair care, hanging up on Sonia Richards Ross? Now, I'm going to give you some context.
You said
You,
hanging up.
she hung up. They had to FaceTime. Sonia was inviting Kenya to Jamaica. And she
Oh,
was like, this is a
she
couple's
hung up
trip.
on her.
Now, on your New York trip, when she stepped onto the Sprinter at 3 a.m. or whatever time it was, and she looked around and she said she saw all the men, she was kind of feeling a ways. So Sonya told her not once but twice, this is a couple's trip, and then hung up on her. Can you defend Kenya?
Okay. Yes, I can. Because basically, Kenya was like, she's going through a divorce, right? And she definitely doesn't need to be publicly on trips with different, with a man or whatever while she's in an active divorce.
Okay.
So she had been saying what she's been going through or whatever to everybody else. So she felt like when Tanya called her and was like, oh, yeah, it's a couple trip, blah, blah, blah. So we need you to bring somebody. But then she came back and reiterated it. I don't know if they showed it how it actually happened. So she was like, so Kenya, I just want to make sure you have to bring somebody. And so Kenya was like, oh, she's trying to play me. Click. And just hung up on her.
Okay.
That's what happened.
Okay. Can you defend her husband, Aaron Ross, for standing up and saying, stop effing with my wife?
I didn't feel like that needed to be defended. His wife was emotional, child, and they had been tearing her up.
Damn.
They had been reading her left and right. And he did not, like, that his wife was emotional. I didn't really feel like he was necessarily directing his words just at the girls. He was really directing it to production.
Mm.
That's really what happened. He was like, look, he was like, I'm not just talking to y'all. I'm just saying, stop fucking my wife. He was directing it to the whole production because he felt like they set Sanya up. Because really, nah, if somebody don't get an invite to something, it's not necessarily always because the person didn't want to invite them. And we know Sanya was working. She
Right.
ain't really caring who goes where. So
Mm.
he felt like they set his wife up.
Mm. Okay. Can you
Mhm.
defend Sheree Whitfield and her She by Sheree $142 t-shirt merch line? $142 for a t-shirt, Kandi. When you had the worldwide t-shirt, okay, 24 hours after the episode for however much, a much more affordable price. Can you defend Sheree and that price point?
Oh my god. Well, She by Sheree is a big brand.
It
We've
is.
been waiting on this brand for 14 years, honey. So I guess she felt like we had to pay the price for the time that we've been waiting.
Uh-huh.
14 years, 142. Get it?
Is that what that means?
14 years. No, I just made it up.
Oh, I'm like, wait a minute. Hold up. I was today years old.
Listen, I don't know how she came up with that random
That's
price, but
crazy.
hey, that's what I would run with if I was her. For
Mm.
it's giving $10 for every year
Okay.
that you had to wait.
Okay. Now, the people would be very upset if I did not ask you if you were attending Portia's wedding.
Oh, somebody else asked me that. She definitely invited me, and
Okay.
right now I'm trying to figure out if I'm gonna be able to change my schedule to fit the days that she's doing the
Ceremony.
wedding on. Yeah,
Okay.
because I think she's doing more than one thing. So I'm trying to see if I can at least make
Okay.
one of her events. When she was doing it before, the first dates that she had, I was planning to be there. Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
So you're gonna try to make it. Cool. Did you know, and I'm kind of bringing it back a little bit, throwback. Did you know at the dungeon reunion that Portia was with Simon at that time? Did you know that? Because I think there was a clip where Marla was like, I know who you're dating.
She
You
wasn't talking
you
about
ain't
him.
okay, perfect.
She was talking about somebody else.
Great.
Yeah, she was not talking about Simon.
Okay. The people, this was like the number one question. Carlos King. He's been doing the podcast. The people were going to be upset if I did not bring this up, okay? Because I
Now
have
you're
been
the
following
first
this
person to
story.
ask me this today. Okay, what about
Perfect.
him?
Okay, so Carlos, former executive producer of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, he's been doing the
Uh-huh.
podcast and talking. And whenever he criticizes the show, he brings you up. A lot of the
Which I don't
fans,
understand. Go
well,
ahead.
a lot of the
Finish your thought.
fans they go to Twitter and they're like, oh my God, Carlos is coming for Kandi. So it's been like this whole thing on social media, and people think that you and Carlos King have a beef, including me, because then you went on to the speak on it and somebody asked you about Carlos and you were like, we're not cool. And it wasn't like, it's like no beef or nothing. It's like something had happened. So my question
Right.
is, what had happened?
Oh my
Do we
gosh.
have time? Because this is like the
Another person
burning
that I think
question.
he's another person that I think, when they say I've tried to help people and then it comes back to bite me in the ass.
Oh.
Okay, so first of all, the main reason, my main issue with Carlos is he is the one who stole my group's life story and sold it to TV1. And for that, I just can't get past it. He
What?
had been working with us that entire season on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. That last year he was with us. Him and Todd had already had some like little issues, business issues, because they were doing a production company together. So they already had some things they had dealt with personally. But we was trying to move past that and still work together on the show because he was executive producing. What season was that? 9 or whatever. And
Yes.
he was his last year. Okay. So let's say the season wrapped in November. In
Mm.
December, someone tells me, I was talking to a friend. I was like, hey, yeah, I was like, yeah, we should do like a movie about, our
Escape.
group's life or whatever. And they were like, it was a director that Todd and I were speaking. And they was like, somebody's already doing it. And I was like, what you mean somebody's doing it? And so in my mind, I'm thinking it was one of my group members or something. And they
Mm.
was like, yeah, it's a network that's already like, because I took a meeting about directing it. And I was like, what? Now, mind you, just wrapped season in
9.
the season in like either top of December or November, end of
Right.
November, right there. December, I'm hearing that this movie has been sold to a network. So I come to find out a couple weeks later, I'm trying to find out what is going on, and come to find out it was, in sidebar, he his other producing partner, one of the producers that worked for him, who was also at the time I thought was super cool, had called my mom, was like, oh yeah, we want to do a interview you because we're trying to do a documentary about girl groups or something. So we want to ask you questions about escape. My mom was gonna do it or whatever, but come to find out, he was the person who had did the deal with TV1 to sell our life story. He was and my mom and was gonna try to ask my mother questions about us unknowingly to get more information, I guess, for the show. So anyway,
Wow.
I just thought that was the lowest thing that anybody could ever do.
Wait. So, but how
And
does he
I
have the
really
rights to
just feel
y'all's
like
story?
he didn't have the rights to our story. What I found out, because of course, I was calling lawyers and everything, and I found out at the time that when you're a public figure, people can
Mm-hmm.
do um,
Unauthorized
they can do
news.
unauthorized stories about you.
Right.
And at the time, we had already done like a what's that behind the music type of thing on
VH1.
TV1 or whatever.
Okay.
No, TV1. Remember,
Unsung.
how they Unsung, yeah.
Yeah.
So, they had certain information that I guess they could base the movie off of. But my thing was, I was like, never once, all them years we have been around each other, he had never once told me that he was trying to do a movie about us, and to be able and to go behind my back and to do that. That's our life story.
Right.
I was like, I can't fuck with him ever again. I did not
Wow.
want to. I did reach out to him at first. He didn't answer the phone because I had just heard it, so I wasn't sure that it was him. So I was calling him, but like, yo, like, what is this? He didn't answer my calls. But then when we had did some things to start like reaching out to the network to try to get the whole situation shut down, then all of a sudden he reaches out to me. And I didn't want to talk after that. I was like, I don't want to talk to you. I don't ever have to talk to you again. And that's just how I feel. I'm like, that is the lowest of the low. Um, our first, what was that? First spinoff was the wedding or one of them. I think our spinoff was the first show that he was executive producer for.
Hmm.
I literally fought for him to be executive producer of my show, to be the lead executive producer.
Right.
So for you to have somebody that you went out for and I always respected him as a producer to do that to me. I was like, I have no respect for him. And so
Oh,
for him to now, every time he turn around, he got something to say about me. I'm like, I just give him no energy. But that right there, my life story, that shit gets me emotional and it pisses me off. So yeah, I don't have nothing for him. Nothing.
I was not
Like, how could you
expecting
do that to
that.
somebody?
That's
You're
what I'm
around
gonna
them
say.
every
When
day.
y'all know each
Like,
other. Even if you wanted to
exactly.
do it, be like,
He could
be
have said
upfront
something.
about it. Like, I'm doing
Be
this.
upfront.
What you
Yeah,
think?
he could have asked, like, if anything, I would have just asked me, like, hey, how do you feel? It's the opportunity or whatever. Like to just do that and not say anything. And I have to hear in the
Wow.
streets. I was
Wow.
like, yo, cut off.
Candy.
Never again. Do not. So people always think that it's because of the whole Phaedra
Phaedra.
and
Hmm.
Fortune, and that is not why. I still to this day will say I do not believe he ever told her that. He said he never told her that. The networks, did they questioning or whatever? He never told her that. That is a lie and to the depths of hell. So y'all can stop telling that story. Y'all need to go buy the Bravo book. They explain to you that Carlos did not tell her that. So y'all can
Okay.
stop believing that lie. No, I do not mess with him because of what he tried to do to my group in our life story.
Did y'all share an office? I heard somewhere that y'all
Yes,
shared.
we did. When he first was, leaving the
Bro-
trying to do his own thing, him and Todd were becoming partners, and his office was in my office building. Not that I try to bring that up or anything, but yeah, like we was cool. Like
right.
cool, cool. That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
Like, how do you go from having that type of relationship with somebody to still in their life story? I do not know.
Yeah. Wow.
I never done anything to that man.
Right. But give him storylines for the ratings. Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently. And it's just like, golly, it was bad enough that him and Ty was having their, disagreements in their business and some of the things that he did we felt like was foul or whatever. But, business is business. Sometimes people fall out in business or whatever. But for him to do that, still
Yeah.
alive, this is my life. Like
Yeah.
you are literally
So
going
is that
to
something that
take
you're
my life
working
from me.
on? Like a script, like a movie, or like you got
We
it shut down
were
at TV1, I'm assuming.
And we actually had got it picked up somewhere else, but then we ended up not doing it. So either way, child, I was just
We could
oh
always
man.
do a book like Mary Wilson from the Supremes. Her book was really, really like she spilled all the tea from.
Really?
Hmm.
I don't know. Right now, me and my group, we still not in the best place. I'm not gonna lie, but I just feel like I doing a tell-all book at this point would really just drag it. I personally feel like I have to say that for when I get old, child. But the movie, I'm down. That conversation keeps coming up. People keep still, throwing that towards us. And I'm cool with doing it as long as everybody is going to be open about
Honest. Mhm.
their stuff and not just be trying to put my drama in there, my tea, because that's what they like to do, talk about stuff
Right.
that I dealt with. And
Mhm.
I'm like, no, now y'all got some way interesting stuff we can talk about too. So
Right.
we gonna talk about it all, then we can talk about it, but don't just think you finna just be, no, just use me.
Well, thank you, Kandi, so much for taking out not 15 but 30 minutes. I
Oh my
appreciate
God, now
it.
you got me late for the next interview.
I appreciate it. You look great. You looked really, really
Thank
good on
you.
Sherry Shepherd. You were on the first ever
Thank
episode of
you.
Sherry. The body is body. Your fashions definitely A1. You, who else? Marlo and somebody else. Sheree. Y'all have been killing it with the fashions and the hair and the makeup. You look great.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I gotta go,
Yes.
but
All right.
thanks for having me.
All
And
right.
I'm sure this doggone thing is gonna go viral, but whatever. It
Yeah.
is what it is. I said I was gonna be honest, so there you have it.
I appreciate you being transparent.
Thanks.
All
Bye.
right. Bye bye.